Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's your host, Sabotage. This is a recap slash what did we learn at UFC 273. Pretty good card all around. Even the undercards were pretty decent, I was saying. One specific one that probably majority, or I was actually looking out for, was the the old boy, the Ireland mate. Whose boy is he? Why can't I bring up his card? McGregor's boy, Ian Gary against Darren Weeks, but Weeks was actually pretty good himself, so. We learned that. I don't know if you guys watched the knockout he had Ian Gary in Madison Square Garden. I forget which was that. The Brian Ortega. I think it was one of the. I think it was that card. I'm not 100 at the moment, but yeah. So we learned that even though Ian Gary did say he was going to knock him out within 8 minutes, he said first round, but if any of y'all caught Ariel the Nose Helwani show, he said that he would knock him out in 8 or in the first round. 8 minutes, within 8 minutes. Aspen Ladd got another loss. I don't know if you guys catch that one as well. I don't think I caught any of the early prelim. Oh, actually, I did catch the Olenek, the crazy submission against Jared. The body, I don't know. I forget. I don't even know what that submission is called. Like just I think that was the first ever submission I seen, or the first attempt, or the first time that I've seen anybody get submitted by that move. It was like a upper body head. I can't even forget the lock's name, but yeah, Olenek got the win. Jared was, I think they were saying that he was actually throwing up. That was one of the first times I heard like a fighter's actually throwing up on the side, which is freaking nuts. But like I said, this is a recap slash what we learned. So I guess we learned that Darren Weeks is actually a pretty good fighter himself with the 5-2. He could take a punch. He could take a bunch of punches, actually, more than a punch. And Ian Gary can take a punch or two. And he can, I guess he's pretty legit, even though I guess they asked him if I forget the question they asked him, but pretty much they asked him that that was good experience and that's good some with the learning and all. And he was like he would have rather won that fight like with a knockout. He would have rather gotten a finish, but he didn't. But I guess that is good for experience. Going 3 full rounds because I don't think he has at least I haven't watched in a UFC match. Maybe he has before. I'm not 100 on that right now. But Mark O'Madsen, I honestly thought Mark O'Madsen was much younger than he is. I think 3-time Greco-Olympian. One thing I learned today that I didn't actually know is he actually fought much earlier in his career, but I'm sure the reason he went back because he won the Olympics in like 2013-ish. So he had fights in 2012, and then he ended up, I guess, winning one in like 13, 15, and 16-ish. Is those close to those numbers? Could easily just bring those numbers up, but it was around there. So yeah, he actually won 3 Olympics, or I'm pretty sure they're all gold, but I'm not 100 on that either. So it's not facts, but y'all go Google that yourself. But yeah, so he's 12-0 not in the UFC. I think he's only had 3 UFC fights in these 3. That's pretty good. And this win obviously was against Vince Pichel. He did get somewhat rocked. I think it was in the first and it was in the third, but it wasn't enough from Vince Pichel. Obviously, Vince wasn't too happy with the amount of wrestling in the from the very end of the second and the third. But hey, it's MMA. You got that going on. If you're not that great of a wrestler, you ain't gonna. And well, obviously Vince's striking was much much better. That's the weakness. That's the one thing I guess I learned from Marco Madsen is that his striking does need some leveling up, but he showed that he was trying at least. He did actually get. Vince actually did attempt and got a takedown. We could actually let me look at those numbers. That's one thing I always forget that I have the numbers right in front of me and I don't really look at them. Um, Pretty sure it was unanimous. Takedowns, yeah. So he actually tried two, so one of two, and that was the first time for Marco Madsen. Like I said, I thought Mark Madsen was actually much younger. I thought he was in his 30s. Didn't actually? I thought he was probably like 28ish or so. Not as old as he is. 37 years old. So that's so by the time he's like what 38, like probably in his what 39, maybe 40, he'll get a title shot. Maybe earlier though. So who knows? But yeah, the Olympian as they call him. So yeah, after 3 wins, Vince gets a loss. Next fight we had Mackenzie Dern versus Tisha Torres. Both I'm pretty sure were coming off of losses or had came off a loss and then a win. Mackenzie Dern, pretty good performance all around, I would say. I don't remember. Well, Tisha Torres, similar to the Vince stable, the striker or the better striker, Mackenzie Dern got struck twice, but they weren't like none of the punches were hard enough or enough power behind them to actually or at least I don't remember them being hard enough to knock her down or out. Mackenzie did have Tisha Torres in an arm bar, which looked like she was about to freaking snap her arm off, but she didn't because Tisha Torres just pretty decent defense, so she kind of got away from that, and then she got her in I don't know. She was like the second round was pretty bad because they just were in a bad position. I would say awkward position. So that just wasn't too great for either fighter. And I was about to say Mo. But yeah, Mackenzie Dern got herself another dub on her name. Both of them have lost to I think it's pronounced Rodriga. I always want to say Rodriga, but it's pronounced Rodriga, I'm pretty sure. She did say she wanted Xian. I don't know what's going to be up for Tisha Torres, but she is ranked number 7. So, hey, it wasn't a terrible fight from, I would say, either, but actually, Mackenzie had a pretty decent fight all around. Next fight, the big fight everybody was looking forward to. Obviously, I was about to say I wasn't surprised that this could have been one of those fights where it could have been a main event, but then again, with how high that Gilbert Burns was ranked at number 2 and how low, I guess that's not what was Hamzat ranked at 12th at the time? Or was he like 15th or something? I'm not sure if this is the new ranking right now or because it says 11 and 2. So I'm guessing that he was still 11 at the time. But obviously everybody had Gilbert Burns winning that second round. Then the first round, actually, I feel like Gilbert could have won it, but he had that. I think it was considered a takedown. I'm guessing because Hamzat had that 2. That very end, it was like it could have been not really a slip, but just more of a falling backwards. In this first round, it was like the last minute or so, and Gilbert was pretty much, he just kind of went backwards, and I guess it was considered a takedown. I forget how the second one went, to be honest. But Gilbert Burns tried going for a lot of takedowns, single legs, Most of them seemed like they were single legs, but nothing was really working for him because Hamzat, he is 6'2". I didn't realize how tall the man's is. I'm wondering if he can go up two different weight classes because I mean he's 6'2". It wouldn't be too hard. I wouldn't think it would be too hard for him. I mean he hasn't even won the title yet, but um, yeah, Hamzat just it was a really good fight to be honest. Fight of the year so far. I'd have to think about it if there would be another fight to be fight of the year so far. I mean, we're in month 4, so obviously we got a lot of time. But what we learned, I mean, I think we learned this before the fight that Kobe Covington is probably going to be getting Hamzat or somebody else is going to be getting Hamzat. Um, Obviously Leon has to face Kamaru Usman. So I mean, the other thing we learned is that if they do fight, if Hamzat gets Covington, that's not going to be an easy fight because Gilbert Burns just showed that. But the other thing is Covington's striking is not as. Or I'm not sure if have Gilbert Burns and Covington haven't fought. I'm not 100 on that to be honest. Um, but yeah, I'm not 100 if Covington's striking is on the same level as Burns because Burns was giving it to him, and Burns has actually knocked down Kamaru Usman, which Covington I don't remember Covington knocking him down, um, but we'll see about that. Like as I said, he had one significant strike during. That's the other thing. He took a lot of strikes compared to fights from before. Um, let's see how much 141 that was total strikes, 119 significant, so pretty much 119 total compared to his like first 3, which was just 1, which is freaking crazy. I think there's a couple other fighters that have similar numbers, but that tells you what happens when you go up the rankings. It doesn't get easier. But there was pretty much two knockdowns, 2 to 3 knockdowns from each fighter. That crazy second round one, obviously, that's one of the main reasons he had that second round is that one that pushed his head back all the way, that right. Also, the energy, just if he had enough, like I would say, not endurance. What's the word I'm freaking looking for? He just looked pretty much tired, but at the same time, Hamza looked tired too. The thing is, I feel like any fighter could have gotten tired in this fight because it was just so much. They were just on like the whole fight. That's why it's easily round 2 could be round of the year, and the whole fight could easily be round of the or fight of the year because of the full 3 good rounds. It was like nonstop action pretty much the whole freaking fight. It was a really good fight. That's what I'm trying to say out here. But one key factor I think was the combinations from Hamzat. His combinations are pretty freaking good. That's one thing to look at. And I mean, obviously his coach, you guys remember second round, his coach was pretty mad that he didn't try enough wrestling, which he didn't, but at the same time, Gilbert Burns was getting out of him anyways. Damn, I felt like I spent way too much on this fight, but I had to. It's fight of the year for God's sake, or so far. Petr Yan versus Sterling. I'm not going to spend as much time on these two because we all know how both of these fights went. Some people said that, even Dana White said that he wasn't, he thought that Peter had won by 1 round, or pretty much by one, as in like scorecard wise. He thought he had won by like 1 round. And I see that first round is tricky because they didn't do much that round. In 5-round fights, a lot of times they don't. Most fighters don't anyway. So it's like, that's why it's kind of important. It probably is important that you probably try to do just a little bit more than your opponent, just so you get that little edge. And I really thought that it was about to be a draw. That was my mindset that it was going to be, but it didn't end up. But just the dominant. I feel like the that second round. I don't know if that matters or not. See that scores and all that stuff because you could have either, even though it was scored 9-10, it could have been. Even Paul Felder after the round said that could have been a 8-10 because that was really dominant from that those two rounds after the first, the second and third, where he just was um, riding him like a. Oh, what did he say? Well, see, that's the crazy thing is Aljamain even said it on Elio Hawani. He said, "I'm gonna ride him like a something." I mean, I can't see. I hate it when I forget little stuff, like little dumb stuff that doesn't even really matter. But yeah, he pretty much pretty much did what he said in a way. Not to, I wanted to haven't really looked at the striking numbers, but dang, 91. But I mean, how much of those were? That's a crazy. That's whenever I always see the striking numbers, you forget that how much of those were just on the ground, just like because in the second, like he probably hit him with 15 to 20 shots just in that second round, but I guess it counts for something. It's crazy that the number only, well, actually 186 thrown by Pita, and the majority of those were on while they were on the feet. Significant 62 against 63, so that's I don't know, that makes it, I guess, the cards look a little bit better. I guess it makes it look better, but damn, 22 freaking attempts. That's crazy. I thought Petr Yan, to be honest, that Petr Yan did have one or two attempts, but I guess they were saying it was unofficial, or I don't, because it looked like it was. Remember when he like Aljamain was on the corner on his knees, like was it second or third round? No, that was fourth, I think. It was fourth. He was on his knees. But yeah, pretty much that first round. That first round didn't win it. Actually, in a way, I guess that first round did win it because on the scorecards, Peter won 2, 3 and 4. No, 3 and no 4 and 5. Starting 1, 2 and 3. But obviously, Aljamain's round, the rounds he won were much more dominant than oh boy Peter from Russia. But yeah, Aljo is the champ, ladies and gentlemen. They're probably gonna have to run that back. But then again, did they bring up Alvin or Cater and TJ Dillashaw? Jermaine did call out Dillashaw, so we might have that. But the Australian versus the Korean, ladies and gentlemen, that was a fight that wasn't so great for the Korean. Because, man, he was getting pounded left and right. Like, I mean, everything that. Let's look at the numbers real quick on that. Obviously was stopped. The fight was stopped in the fourth round. 228 total strikes, ladies and gentlemen. 67%. 152 landed against 51 and 128 thrown. That is insane. I mean, to be honest, it didn't look like 51 were landed. But that's not, I guess that's 51, 41 significant. It still didn't look like from me. And I watched the fight twice. I actually just rewatched it not too long. I watched all these, the majority of the main card. I rewatched them just so you know. Because usually I do the recap on Sunday. I decided today is Monday, so I did it later on Monday. I wasn't planning on doing it, but I'm like, why not? I haven't done a UFC in about 2 weeks, so I'm like, I'm gonna do me a UFC. But 4 takedowns from 4 for 8, 4 out of 8 for Alexander. I honestly thought it was only 2, but like I said, this fight, it was just like it was a really dominant fight from Alexander Volkanovski. I'm tripping. But yeah, anything that Alexander was pretty much throwing was landing. Kicks to the calf, inside, outside, just whatever he wanted to do, he was doing. I think it was somebody who said that was the most dominant fight or dominant showing for Alexander. That was 100% correct because all of his other fights, or the Ortega fight, was a bloodbath. The Holloway fights were freaking bloodbaths, wars, pretty much. All three of those were wars. And we're probably going to get Max Holloway again. Or did I mess up when I earlier said something about Cater or somebody? Oh, man, I think I did mess up. But I forgot who they said they were going to give to. Um, for sure, TJ Dillashaw was going to get Aljo. That's what it's sounding like. Who did they say? I forget who they said they were going to give Volkanovski. I mean, oh yeah, I already said it. I am 100% tripping. It was Max Holloway. I'm not sure if because he's already faced Brian Ortega, but he's also faced Holloway again. I guess it's just such a good fight that. Plus that one of those fights, Max Holloway. Most people do agree that Max Holloway should have won the first one or the second one. It's been a while since I watched. I think it was like 2-3 months ago that I watched both, but it's been a minute. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave it off. Actually, AJ McKee I was on Tweety, and AJ McKee was pretty much saying that he wasn't impressed with Alexander Volkanovski, which is like, what are you talking about, mate? How could you not be impressed by that performance by the Aussie and all the fights that he's done? I mean, maybe he just wasn't. I mean, the thing is, Korean Zombie didn't really do too much. So I mean, but it was a really, really good performance. So I was impressed. I'm not, this is AJ McKee talking, but that AJ McKee versus Pitbull fight is actually this Friday. As y'all remember, that was a really good fight by Pitbull against AJ. Dang, has it? I don't know if it's been a year. Technically, like calendar-wise, it has been a year since that fight, but looking forward to that this Friday. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. And then we got Luca versus who is that? Bilal Muhammad. Is it Bilal Muhammad? Yeah, it's Bilal Muhammad. As y'all remember, he actually was supposed to face Edwards, but then that thumb situation and who was Vince? I know he beat Tyron Woodley like 3-4 fights ago. Then let's look at his. The Michael Chiesa fight. That submission, and then I thought he had another fight, but I'm 100% wrong about that. I really did think he had a. He also beat. What's his name? Nico. But he is on. Osman did say he would. I thought he was like somewhat campaigning for him to actually have a chance to. So this is technically I think this is considered a number one contender fight, right? I mean, I know Hamzat's going to face Covington, but I feel like Hamzat would have to win maybe another fight after Kobe, even though Kobe is the number one in the division because he just beat Jorge, or Hamzat maybe gets Jorge or Neil Magny or somebody else. I think maybe, but Neil, I think they said Neil was already stepping up, but that didn't happen. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be everything for today. Sabotage out.